Hi there, good afternoon. I'm Rolando Garcia de Paredes. That's my long name here in Panama. I was born here, but I left Panama to go to Canada for about 20 years before I decided to come to this great country. I wish I would have came back any sooner. So if I make any mistakes in English, please forgive me. It's not my first language. I want to talk to you about safety deposit boxes. Let me just figure out how to work this. Bear with me. Okay. I want to do a quick overview to see who's got right now either a safety deposit box. You don't have to raise your hands if you don't have to, or planning to, or perhaps are in the local in Canada planning to get one. I just want to get a raise of hands to see if anybody's interested at all. Let's see a few hands, but let's see if I could change that after my presentation. Currently, when you hear a safety deposit box, we automatically think, let's put gold in, let's put silver, let's put our will, public deeds, stock certificates, etc., etc. Initially, banks started up as safety deposit boxes. People will come in, either put your cash in, and the banks will pay you a simple interest. I'm talking about back when banks first started up. And this is a picture of actually safety deposit boxes. If you guys don't know what it looks like, here we go. This is the next question is, are banks safe currently, either in the United States or offshore bank accounts especially? I would like to actually take an opportunity to just to quickly, I don't like usually reading, but I want to read this. It's 5 lines. It says that many offshore banks offer safe deposit boxes for private custody of cash, securities, diamonds, gemstones, gold bullions, and other precious metals. This is usually an associated service that goes along with an actual bank account, which means if you want to have a safe deposit boxes, you have to have about 5 different products before you can get a safe deposit boxes. You have to have a minimum amount of cash and your safe deposit box. You have to actually declare. They would know who you are. And if you have more than $10,000, even though it's an offshore account, you're bound for the FBAR, which means you have to report it back to the United States. One second here. The next slide is pretty interesting. I don't like to actually put it up because we all talk about the IRS. And this is from the IRS website. Currently, in the 2001 Patriot Act, if somebody was suspected of having either illicit cash or pretty much cash coming from narcotics or drug deals, if they have probable cause, the only way they could access your safety deposit box is through a court order. Today, the IRS could actually, I'm not going to read that, I'm just going to put it. Today, the IRS could actually access your box in case you owe any taxes, just to satisfy your tax debt. That's pretty scary when you have all your assets in a box in the United States and somebody can just come up and take them from you. So basically, this is where we come in. Get a safety deposit boxes overseas. Before, when we wanted to get a safety deposit boxes, we would think automatically Switzerland, we would think Hong Kong, we would think European countries. We will never actually think about coming to Panama. When we talk about Panama, all we think is a small country that has no infrastructure whatsoever, that we're still walking around with, I don't want to say bow and arrows, but they wouldn't think us Panamanians, we actually have a perfect infrastructure for the world. Panama is where the world meets right now. And, one second here. We were actually mentioned in Forbes magazines that we're the #1 country in growth in Latin America. And that's actually a pretty good statistic coming from Forbes magazines. I'm not sure this is why we're all here in Panama City to try to find out this great country of ours here. That's our map. We're not trying to sell you here as we're moving your logo here. So how do we came out with the idea? I would like to thank all these Panamanian banks that actually closed their business of safety deposit boxes about 3.5 years ago. I work also in another job. I can't really say what I do. It's a law firm. And one day we had about 5 or 6 letters coming to our office addressed to many of our clients that we do business with. And these letters said that you guys meaning lawyers, had 30 days to remove all your contents from the safety deposit boxes here in Panama. Otherwise, they'll be notarized and put away somewhere until you come in and get them. That was pretty scary because we had to go actually to the bank, remove all these contents, and the clients came to our office all worried about it, saying, well, where are we going to store all these things? I mean, if you go to a bank today in Panama and you try to open a safety deposit box, first of all, you have to be, before you didn't have to be a resident to open a bank account. Now some banks are actually tying you up that you have to be a resident. There's still some few that open an account, but they want to tie you up with something in Panama before they could open an account. You have to have a certain amount of money in your bank account before you could open a safety deposit box in Panama. Again, and if you have a safety deposit box in the bank, you are bound to report that back. You're within the banking system still. So what we did, we started searching for a building, and we created a private vault facility, completely off the banking system. We're not recognized as a bank or financial institution, meaning we do not have to report to anything back to either the Panamanian government, the U.S. government, or any government in the world. Our market study, we did a market study independent of prices. How should we price our safety deposit boxes? Prices up in the U.S. banks, they charge about $25 or $35, probably tops, or $100 for bank for safety deposit boxes. But again, you're tied up within the system, and that's what we're trying to get out. I'm not sure if everybody agrees in here, and so what we did, what's our price? We started at 3x5 boxes. It's $400 a year, and again, we don't report back anything to the United States, and it's all within. What are the advantages of having a safety deposit boxes offshore, especially in Panama, is that, again, we're not a bank, and I put it in bold letters and capital letters. Location, location, location. Again, Panama, like Mr. Juan McKay spoke about, how we have 80 different flights coming from different parts of the world, meaning our location, literally, our best safety boxes, private vault facility, is literally about 2 minutes by car, 15 minutes when there's traffic here, about 15 minutes, and 7 minutes running if you want to make it in there. Again, we're a private vault facility. We don't report to any institution whatsoever. And our extended hours of operations. If we have safety deposit boxes in banks, we're bound to work with their schedules and by appointment. I'm not sure if all banks are the same, but some banks you have to have an appointment. I believe that's a risk factor, a security factor, because if there's some inside employees and you make an appointment for 2, somebody could just pick up the call and make a call saying, well, there's this chunky fellow with a coat coming in with a bag. You make sure you hit him because he's going to go and visit his safety deposit boxes. I mean, that's a security issue right there. So what we did, the hours of operations for banks, from 9 till 3, or whichever bank opens further than that, but I doubt it. So what we did, Monday to Fridays, we opened from 7 until 9 p.m. So you could come and visit your box as many times as you want, and for Monday, Fridays, and Saturdays from 9 until 3 p.m. Again, as I mentioned, location, we're about 20 minutes from the airport, so if you have a short flight and you have some content that you may want to put in your box, it's a short flight, and you come into your safety deposit box to deposit it. Again, best safety boxes. How to sign up? People might be asking, how easy? Is this so good to be true? All we need from you, it's 2 pieces of identification. It could be a passport and a second ID. A second ID could be a driver's license from place of origin, or it could be a photo ID, pretty much. The Payments, we take Visa, MasterCard, no Amex as of yet, and of course we take cash. Yeah, I hate to say that though. You don't have to be, if you want to get a safety deposit boxes, you don't have to be in Panama to sign up for a safety deposit box. You could do everything by email, encrypted email, and we do everything online where you could actually get you sign up for your box, but the 1 year will not start until you get physically your keys in your hands. There's several ways we could sign up in our facility, the boxes. You could do it as an individual. You could do it as a corporation, which means if you have an LLC, you could sign up a safety deposit boxes under your American company, or it could be a Panamanian corporation. All we need is articles of incorporation and the directors to sign the applications. We have, beg your pardon, we have up to 5. You could have up to 5 different users on your safety deposit boxes. It could be your siblings, it could be your boss, it could be your directors, whoever you assign, you could have the safety deposit boxes. So as a summary, we have a peace of mind knowing that our assets are secure outside of the banking system. We have asset protection. Again, we have over 80 flights directly from Panama, to Panama rather. And Panama, this is actually our, I don't know if you heard about this, this is our new logo that was put up for our Ministry of Tourism. Panama is where the world meets. This is actually half of the world. And there's some few shots of the Casco Viejo that you've seen. And before I get to my questions and answers, I just want to let you know, if you guys are aware that we're giving 1 box away. So if you haven't filled out that ballot, if you could come into our booth and sign up so you could win that. And we thought about it since International Living has been really good for us. So we're going to give now 3 boxes away. So you have the opportunity to win a free box at the safety deposit boxes. And we're also offering tours. If you're still in Panama on Monday or Tuesday, we'll be glad to happy to take you to see our security operations, our different levels of security guards, biometrics, and the encryption codes as well. Not only that, we're extending a 15% off, 15% discount to any International Living attendees that will come before April 30th, and we'll give you that 15% off discount. And one of the questions that I'm going to open the floor for questions and answers now. What I thought about, because during the presentation, people will ask me these questions, and I'm sure I was talking to some potential clients that, how do if I have all these valuables in a safety deposit boxes back home, and I want to open a safety deposit boxes overseas, how do I get this to you? That's the major question. How do I transport this? We have had some clients that we have an account with Brinks International, but there's a lot of red tape that you have to pass before they actually send the shipment over to us. You have to be an LLC, cannot be an individual as protection, because it could be just anybody sending cash, or for a drug dealer or something like that. You have to be an LLC, and you have to have a notarized receipt of what you're actually sending. So I'm sure if you've had these assets or gold or silver for a while, if you want to transport it here, and you have to have a notarized receipt. And keep in mind, we're tax exempted in Panama for bringing precious metals. So you do not have to pay any taxes when you're bringing precious metals into Panama. So now I would like to open the floor. Should you have any questions, I'll be more than happy. And don't forget to fill out the ballot as you're going to win a box, Mr. Host.
Rolando, thank you. Rolando Garcia, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take some questions. I'm almost absolutely sure you're going to have some questions. There's one right there.
I'm sure.
Yeah. What liability do you carry in case of theft?
We have, in our private vault facility, we have over 2,500 boxes, 5 different sizes, 3 by 5, all the way up to 10 by 10. If there's ever a break-in in any boxes, we have a $2 million policy. So only the affected boxes will get that $2 million as a payment for the theft. However, if you require some additional insurance, personal insurance, you can obtain that. We have a corporation that we work here in Panama called Internacional de Seguros, over 150 years. But the only thing is that they put a lot of conditions. If you have a certain amount over $50,000 and you're going to add or remove contents, you have to have an agent present. And every time you add or remove, you have to bring, it's very tedious because if they break that in, they have to know what's inside the box so they could pay that premium back to you.
Did I understand you correctly that in order to get valuables over from, let's say, the United States here to Panama, i.e. maybe specifically to you, you have to be an LLC, an individual cannot?
You cannot. I'll tell you why is that answer. Because keep in mind, Brinks is worldwide. We have people that work a lot with cash. Can you imagine if I have $15,000 or whatever, $100,000 stuff underneath my mattress? I don't want to bring it down here. You're only allowed $10,000 before you have to declare any money. So what does that mean? You have to have. I just lost my train of thought. Sorry about that.
Do you have to be an LLC? And does this
yes,
apply,
sorry.
Ronaldo?
You have to be an LLC because it's against money laundering that you have to be an LLC. And that is why you have to be an LLC to transfer goods over to Panama.
And this relates to your arrangement with Briggs.
With Briggs only. That's right. We only working with them as they're worldwide recognized. And we haven't had any single hiccups and we use them regularly to bring goods into our safe deposit boxes. So you only have to say, we have an account at Best Safety Boxes and I would like to open an account with Brinks so I could transfer the goods over down to, so it sounds simple, but I'll warn you, it's not.
Question here.
Does Brinks then have to report this to the U.S. or not?
Again, this is a private company. So this is between corporations, your LLC corporation and Best Safety Boxes Corporation.
Question back here, Rolando. Hold on just a second. We'll get a microphone here.
Yeah, hi. We spoke earlier. There's a company called Viamat. I'll hold it myself. Yeah, there's a company called Viamat that will deliver gold or silver to your facility. You don't have to be an LLC. I spoke to Monix in California, and they do this all the time. They don't arrange it themselves, but they put you in touch with a representative of this company that's an alternative to Brinks. And as an individual, I can ship you anything I want. It's legal. It will go from Viamat to your facility. I would meet the representative at your facility, and I could deposit what I want in your vault. Okay, I'll be very grateful if you could actually send me that information over to us because we get this question asked all the time, and that's the only answer I have. Brinks right now. Is not the best choice. That's why this Viamat. They'll send it to any place. You could send it to. I was grateful if you could send me the information. There's a company called Das Safe in Austria.
Let's take this offline, and you can go to his table and talk to him about it. I appreciate that. Any other questions for Rolando? Back here? Let's get the back of the room. This will be the last one.
What kind of guarantee, for instance, I'm in the United States, and how do I know when I come back your place is not closed?
So that's a very good question. I mean, you may be asking, who are we? Why should we trust you? I mean, we're a 5-year-old company. It's owned by a Panamanian lawyer over 15 years experience, 20 years experience. We could honestly tell you that we have a 6 years lease. We have invested a lot of our money into this business. I wish you could actually go and visit the facility. And we have some certain regulations, Panamanian regulations that we are binded by. So in the event we go bankrupt or, I mean, we're not going to come in, drill every box and run. We have a certain amount of, a receivership will come into as a middleman. And I would assume they would contact all the owners until eventually given back. But again, we are pretty solid. We want you to visit our facilities so that could ease your mind as well.
Rolando, thank you. Rolando Garcia, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.